Hello, fabulous cats kids. I miss you. I love you. And I'm excited to do a little bit more of Dulair's myths with you and just ancient Greece, and we're gonna have a good time. All right, here we go. So I believe the story we left off with was Athena. So now we're going to move into hearing about Poseidon today. And as always, I love the pictures. So before we even jump into the text, we'll take a minute to check out these pictures. That's pretty awesome. All right. So here we see Poseidon. I always can recognize him by his trident there, riding on his chariot, pulled by his horses or seahorses here in the ocean. And we see different water creatures and water people and mermaids and that sort of thing there. And I don't know what this is. We will find out. It looks something here, people walking on it. All right. So without further ado, let's read about Poseidon. Poseidon, lord of the sea, was a moody and violent god. His fierce blue eyes pierced the haze, and his sea blue hair streamed out behind him. He was called the Earth Shaker, for when he struck the ground with his trident, the earth trembled and split open. When he struck the sea, waves rose mountain high and the winds howled, wrecking ships and drowning those who lived on the shores. But when he was in a calm mood, he would stretch out his hand and still the sea and raise new lands out of the water. So, what this tells us right here is that Poseidon was used to explain what? Hopefully, you're realizing that this is explaining how violent or calm the ocean is, right? So it's what kind of mood Poseidon is in, all right? That's what the ancient Greeks believed. Oh, a lot of waves crashing out there. Uh-oh, Poseidon must be in a bad mood. Somebody made him mad, right? In the days of Kronos and the Titans, now remember that was before Zeus and all that, right? This is when back when Kronos was popping babies in his mouth, right? So he wouldn't get overthrown. In the days of Kronos and the Titans, the sea was ruled by Nereus, son of Mother Earth and Pontus the seas. Nereus was an old sea god with a long gray beard and a fish tail, and was the father of 50 sea nymphs, the lovely Nereids. When Poseidon, the Olympian, came to take over the kingdom of the sea, kind old Nereus gave him his daughter Amphitrite for his queen, and he retired to an underwater grotto. He gave the new king and queen his palace at the bottom of the sea. I'm guessing that's who she is, right? It was made of the palest gold and lay in a garden of corals and shimmering pearls. There, Amphitrite lived contently, surrounded by her 49 Nereid sisters. She had only one son, whose name was Triton. He had a fish tail instead of legs, like his grandfather Nereus, and rode about on the back of a sea monster, trumpeting on a conch shell. See if that's in there. I don't see the conch shell. Poseidon was rarely at home. He was a restless god and loved to race the waves with his team of snow-white horses. It was said that he had created the horse in the shape of breaking waves. Like his brother Zeus, Poseidon had many wives and many children, but Amphitrite was not jealous like Hera. So she's like, "It's okay, honey. You can go have as many wives as you want. Have fun, have a good time. Go ahead, have a bunch of children." What a kind and understanding woman. So this is them racing in the waves, right? And we've got all the, oh, there's the conch shell. Said I was looking for that earlier. That's the conch shell. All right. Let's see what this picture is all about. One of the islands that Poseidon raised out of the sea was Delos. It was so newly created that it was still floating about on the water. The little island was barren. Nothing grew on it yet, except a single palm tree. In its shade, the two great gods, Apollo and Artemis, were born. Zeus had married the goddess Leto, and when Hera found out that Leto was expecting twins, she flew into a jealous rage and ordered all the lands in the world to refuse Leto's shelter. Chased away from every land, poor Leto wandered from place to place and could not rest to give birth to her twins. At last she came to Delos, and the little island welcomed her. Since it was still floating and not quite land, it was free from Hera's bidding. Exhausted, Leto sat down in the shade of a palm tree, but still she could not give birth to her twins, for Hera forbade Ilithyia, I don't even know how to say this one, Ilithyia, the goddess of childbirth, to go to her. Without her help, no child could be born. All the other goddesses felt sorry for Leto and tried to sway Hera by offering her a beautiful necklace. It was 9 yards long. Okay, 9 yards long. 27-foot long necklace. Okay, I guess Hera likes nice things. It was 9 yards long, made of gold and amber, and Hera could not resist it. She let Ithyia go, and Iris whisked her down the rainbow to Leto. So here's Iris whisking her down the rainbow to the island that's still kind of floating. And underneath here, we've got poor mom-to-be trying to give birth. Leto's first child was Artemis, a girl as beautiful as the moon, with hair as dark as the night. She was to be the goddess of the hunt and all newborn creatures. Then Apollo came into the world. He was fair as the sun, and he was to be the god of music, light, and reason. Zeus was filled with joy at the sight of his beautiful twins, and he gave them each a silver bow and a quiver full of arrows. The arrows of Artemis were soft as moonbeams and brought painless death. Well, that's good. I guess if you're going to get shot by an arrow and die, it's nice if it's painless. Those of Apollo were hard and piercing as the rays of the sun. All right, so Artemis is the hunter, so I guess that makes sense that if you have to hunt an animal for food, you want that animal's death to be quick and painless. She sounds kind. Zeus blessed the little island and fastened it to the bottom of the sea. Grass and flowers burst forth from the barren ground, and Delos became the richest of all the Greek islands. Pilgrims flocked to it and loaded it with temples and treasures to honor Leto and her twins. So I'm thinking that this probably explains a little bit the island of Delos and how that came to be, because we know a lot of these myths, the whole point was to explain how things came to be. All right, that was a good one. So in your Google Classroom today, you have 3 assignments. I'm actually going to have you skip 13, your own city-state, because that's going to take quite a while, and I would rather do that one a little bit later. So we're going to do today, we've got 14, 15, and 16. And you're going to like all 3 of these assignments. They're quick and easy, but they're also fun. So we've got number 14 is just this website. Okay, so you just go to this website and do whatever this guy tells you to do. You'll have fun. And then you're going to go to assignment 15, label the columns. Now this should be some review, because we learned in architecture about our 3 styles of columns, right? So we have Doric, those are the very simple ones. We have Ionic, that have that pretty scroll on the top. And then we have Corinthian, which are very fancy and gorgeous. So in your assignment, you're going to have label the columns. This is just a slideshow, and it has pictures of all different buildings that have columns in them. And then over to the side here, you're going to just label them as, is it Doric, Ionic, or Corinthian? All right, so you can just do this and turn that in. And then last but not least is the best one of all, I think. Number 16 is an online museum. Now, you could spend a lot of time on this online museum. Today, I've asked you to visit and read the architecture portion of this website. So what I want you to watch is the intro and architecture. You can do more if you want, but I would say those are the minimums for what I want you to learn about on this in this museum today. This is a really cool site. So first of all, it begins by playing you a movie, Long Ago and Far Away. And it shows you some amazing pictures, and there's plenty for you to read. Please don't skip the intro because this movie is going to teach you a lot. Okay, I'm skipping the intro because I want to show you, but when you do it, please don't skip the intro. All right, so here's the architecture tab down here. See this architecture tab right here. So you're going to click on that, and then you're going to learn about architecture. So you're going to really enjoy exploring the site. I hope you have fun with it. And that's it. I'm going to post this on your classroom, and we'll talk soon. Bye.